Hi, I'm Barrie Rose, and in this podcast, I talk to content creators and advocates in the progressive space, ultimately making the world a better place. Today, I talked to Ellie Artone, my friend from Social Currant, and they connect content creators to impact causes. We also talk about building a creator community, work life balance, and she gives us amazing advice at the end on how to find your dream career. So, you're gonna want to listen to that. All right, enjoy. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Barry.
I love the room you're in. It looks so cool and white.
Thank you. I tried to clean up a little bit so it didn't look too messy in the background.
Yeah, it's perfect. So, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I see you as this bright, sunshiny person who connects creators to impact brands. But how would you describe yourself? Who are you? And what is Social Current?
Yes. So I'm Ellie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm based in Agunquit, Maine. And I'm the Chief Creator Officer and one of the co-founders at Social Current. What else about me? I'm also a Libra. I have a son named Leo, who is an orange Persian, and another son named Pepper, who is a skinny pig, which just means he's a hairless guinea pig. Um,
Wait, you're the guinea pig?
yes, his name is Pepper. I call him Pepito, my little Pepper. He's turning 5 this year, so he's like a senior guinea pig. But yeah, he's like a little mini hippo. He's a cutie. And Social Current, we are a platform and community that helps connect creators with impact organizations for brand collabs, event opportunities, and just general relationship building. What we do is pretty much help a lot of creators that are interested in a bunch of progressive causes monetize what they're doing in collaboration with other organizations.
Yes. So, yeah, it's a really incredible organization. I've worked with you all, and I just love how transparent you are. I love how real everyone is. Like you're not like robots doing your job. You're actually real humans. And
I appreciate you saying that.
yeah. So how did that all start? It seems like such a big operation, and I'm curious. I've heard a little bit about how it started. Like, I heard you were at a party, maybe there was a conversation.
Yes. Yes. So, Ashwath and I, who's the other co-founder, we went to college together in DC at GW. And I met him at a party randomly. We didn't know anyone else at the party, so we started talking and became friends through that. And when we first started working together, we created the company because we wanted to help progressive organizations reach young people more effectively because we noticed that everyone was talking about how to reach Gen Z, but there wasn't like any Gen Z perspectives in the room contributing to the conversation. And so, yeah, we started doing some like social media management work at first. And then we did an influencer marketing test with a single creator to get out the word around the child tax credit. And it was a really, really successful campaign. We drove like 10,000 people to the White House website to get educated about the child tax credit and everything. And after we did that, we're like, okay, wow, we can have such a big impact if we start working with creators who already have a following online, and connect them with resources to talk about causes. And so we decided to pivot what we were doing and do just influencer marketing going forward. Um, and yeah, we've done stuff on like a bunch of different progressive causes like voter registration, reproductive rights, climate change, healthcare, all of the things that people in the US need. And yeah, it's been really fun. And one thing that we've been doing lately is also building out a community of creators to help empower you all with like resources to talk about things that you care about, as well as like help you with account growth in general. Since I feel like being a creator can sometimes be kind of like an isolating career because you're kind of doing everything on your own. So we just want to help you all like grow your pages in general and get more like civically engaged online.
Yes, I really love how you're doing that because I suppose it was this time last year when we were about to go to Trending Up, which is, I guess, for anyone who doesn't know, it's an organization that believes in progressive creators and has a whole uh, gathering of sorts, like with all these creators and the people behind the scenes. So anyway, there's one coming up in May, and that's actually where I initially met a lot of these creators that were doing similar things but had totally different platforms in real life. And then ever since then, I've been like seeing these same creators in different environments and like online where you connect all of us. And it just kind of makes it feel like, oh, we're not alone. We're working together towards similar goals. And then some of these people have like become friends of mine, which I love. Like I just want to make friends and feel like I'm part of something bigger, not just in, isolated, believing in these things on my own. I mean, obviously I have Lorenzo, which is great. But anyway, yeah, thanks for doing the community element. That's a huge thing.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like there's just so many like amazing people in this space who are like so informed about such a variety of issues. Like I feel like I'm constantly learning something from every new person that I talk to. And so I feel like it's like such a privilege to be able to be surrounded by such like amazing people, including, yourself. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm impressed by people's every day, how extensive people's knowledges are about different subjects. And I'm like, where do I belong? I feel like an imposter or something a lot of the time. Like I'm just getting started, and there's all these creators that are doing big things.
You're doing big things too. Yeah, you're doing big things too. And I feel like everyone makes an impact in a slightly different way. And so, even I feel like even changing just like one person's mind around something is such a big impact to have. So,
Thank you. Well, what do you like about working with creators and doing this in general?
I, well, we work with like a huge variety of people at very different levels of like political engagement. So some people who are pretty much like independent journalists online, all the way to like makeup creators who have never talked about any progressive cause. And so I think what I get the most excited about is seeing all the different ways that people do storytelling online. There's so many different ways that you can talk about different causes or issues or moments that are happening in the world. And so I think it's so cool to be able to partner with people and get out that messaging in a variety of different ways. Sometimes it's just a like direct to camera dialogue video talking about a topic with like a green screen behind you. That's like a news article, but we've also done like more like out there collabs. Like for example, we partnered with like a reproductive rights nonprofit once and connected them to someone who does baking content on their page, and she created an abortion themed cake, and I'm like, this is amazing. So yeah, I think it's really cool to see all the different ways that people connect like their own lived experiences to the causes that we work on, as well as all the creative ways that they get it online in a way that makes sense to the content that they're already putting out.
Yeah, there is such a different, vast array of ways people can spread messaging like this. So yeah, that must keep it interesting. What does a typical day look like for you?
Oh, okay. Well,
Cutting you
I
off guard on this one.
I'm like, am I gonna expose myself? No, just kidding. Well, I work remotely, which is really nice. So
Mhm.
I usually wake up around like, I mean, I try to wake up at 6:30. Does that ever happen? No. So I'm usually up around 7, get ready, take my time getting ready. I should have a better morning routine than I do, like you do with your chanting, but I don't. I mainly just get ready in the morning, start work right away, sit down on my computer for like, 8 to 9 hours, get everything done. And then at the end of the day to like decompress from everything, I work out. I go to the gym a lot. I'm also a very, very big reader, so I read a lot. And then I just spend time with my partner Jackson and Leo, my son, sometimes Pepper if he's being good. And yeah, I feel like I'm always trying to work in moments in the day to like learn new things too. I only graduated 2 years ago and I kind of miss being in an academic setting. So I'm always trying to, read a lot of articles of, political philosophy and things like that. And I've also been trying to do more reading of nonfiction books too, because I read way too much romance and I'm like, okay, I need to start learning things. And yeah, like I'm trying to practice my Spanish. I want to learn the ukulele. So yeah, I guess just work
Mm.
and learning all day.
Yeah, that's a big balance of you got the creative, the ukulele, and you have the intelligence boosting activities and the exercise. I didn't know you had an exercise routine. This is fun to learn. You're a night exerciser.
I am, yeah.
Do you go to the gym or what's your exercise style?
Yeah, okay, I go to the gym just because of where I live for the most part. I live in southern Maine and there's not a lot of things going on around here. So the only even place I can work out really is at a gym. Usually though, my favorite way to work out is yoga because it's good exercise and it's good for my mental health, but there's not too many yoga studios around me right now. So I just do what I can. I also watch like a lot of workout videos and stuff too. Because I
Mm.
feel like working out helps me like release a lot of tension and stress and stuff. Um, so yeah, I really like yoga. I'm trying to get into Pilates a little bit more because I've heard like
Mm.
crazy results come from Pilates, but I'm always just down. Anything to work my body because I spend all day like sitting down in a chair just staring at my screen.
Yeah, I also love yoga, but I haven't done it recently. I used to be a someone who went to yoga every single day religiously. But now
Love.
I've just been running every day, and it's very different. But I'll definitely stretch. Uh, yeah, do you ever do like yoga from YouTube videos?
Yeah, I do. I forget what the person's name is, but I do like 20-minute flows and stuff like that, which is really nice. I've also
Mhm.
been finding a lot more like Pilates videos to do. But Pilates is
Mhm.
so hard. Like, I don't know if you've ever done one of those videos, but it always seems like it's going to be so much more simple than it is. And then you get started and you're like, oh my gosh, my body was not built for this. So I want to start doing like Zumba more too, like dancing
Oh my
workouts.
gosh, I love Zumba so much.
Oh my gosh, love.
When I was living in California, I would go to Zumba all the time because it was offered at 24-hour fitness where I'd go. But the classes were all like 50-year-old women, like older women, which was fine because the instructor instructor was always young. But yeah, it's so fun and it's really fast moving. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like a workout. It feels more like a party.
exactly. We should do some Zumba when we're in DC for Trending Up. That'd be
Yes.
so fun.
I'm so down. I don't like know the routines, so I guess we would have to use a video unless you have another method. Or we could go to a class if they offer one.
Yeah, let's find a class. We can go and we can dress in like fun Zumba clothes that are like 80s themed, you know?
Yeah, perfect. That would make my dreams come true. Yeah, I was telling Ashwath I wanted to kick the soccer ball with him at a park with anyone who's down. But yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah, we should go to the National
Zumba.
Mall and play soccer there.
Oh, yeah. What's the National Mall?
You know, we're the like George Washington. I
Oh,
call
that's what
it
it's called.
pencil. Yeah, yeah. Which when I first heard it, like when I went on my eighth grade field trip to DC, I fully thought we were going to an actual mall. And then I was like, oh,
Mm.
it's just monuments. Like, that's cool too, I guess.
Yes. It doesn't seem like it should be called that. It needs a rename.
Yeah, let's rebrand
But
it.
definitely. I mean, a mall sounds cooler than the historic monuments, but it is nice to see those. So you're a reader, you read romance, but you also read a lot of political news stuff. How do you stay like grounded, balanced? Because you're really enthusiastic, and I think of you as like a really happy person, or else you just always have like a positivity. Do you think that's just how you are, or is there anything you do to maintain that?
Um, I would say that's definitely not how I am. It's how I try to be on a consistent basis,
Mhm.
but sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me, for sure. But I think I'm able to like stay positive and joyful because of the work that we do. Like I think it is, I feel like I have like my dream job pretty much, being able to make money doing something that I'm passionate about and also empowering other people to do things that they're passionate about. And it's a very like unique job, I guess, that I have. And so I'm just like grateful even for the opportunity to be in this space and to be part of the solution to all of the like terrible things happening in the world. Um, and obviously, like I know that progress takes time, and sometimes it's very frustrating to see how long progress takes to implement. But even if we're making like one small step of progress, that's still progress. So, um, yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to be surrounded by so many amazing people that are working towards like improving our communities and stuff. And to get paid for it, which is always really nice too. So,
Yes. Yeah, because we need to survive in this world and thrive and do the work that needs to be done. What gives you hope for the future? I know you said even just a little bit, if it affects one person, that's progress. What gives you hope that the world is moving in a better direction with this
hmm.
work?
This is a loaded question right now because I feel like right now with Voldemort as president, it can kind of feel hard to have hope, especially when so many things are taking a step back right now when there was initial progress. But I think being able to be in community with people that are working towards the solution is huge. I think if I wasn't doing anything to combat what was going on, I would be like very depressed and feel hopeless. But at least working towards progress on a daily basis gives me hope. Um, I also like to remind myself that progress isn't linear. So sometimes things take a step back, but in the future, anything is going to move forward just because we've been fighting for these things for so long. Um, and yeah, I'm also excited to see how many people are starting to really value the work that creators do. I feel like from this last election, people were able to see that, where people get their news is really changing. And so we need to be investing in spaces that people go to for education and to connect with people if we really want to have progress in the long run. Um, And yeah, and I think being able to like meet everyone that we work with in person is so much fun and gives me hope too, because I'm like, wow, like there are so many amazing people out there. And so just being able to like support them and they do and everything that they do gives me a lot of hope for like a better world in the future.
Yeah, you made a lot of great points there, especially that progress isn't necessarily linear. Sometimes we make a couple steps forward and then we go back and then we go forward. But ultimately, I do believe we are gonna sur we have to surpass all that's happening. And there's so many people who are fighting for justice, especially you all and the work you do. It's inherent to that. So thank you for that.
Well, and thank you for being, I mean, a creator in our community that's fighting the fight with us, you know? Like the content that you put out is so important. Plus, like, I love it. Like, it's funny too and entertaining to watch. So it's like a joy to be able to learn about something new while enjoying like the content that you're putting out with the skits and different characters. Like, a lot of times your costumes really make me giggle. So I love to see the new videos.
Mm. Thank you. Yeah, I hope to make better and better videos and yeah, keep figuring out ways to, I guess, be a better storyteller. But I guess that all just comes when you just keep doing something. Oh, I had one question that you said something earlier, but that you're doing your dream job. Do you have any advice on how someone would find their dream job? Because I feel like that's like we all want that, like something that we're passionate about, that we get well paid for, that gives back to the world in some way. Do you have any thoughts on how?
Yes, I actually, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to spend a month in Costa Rica, and we did uh, an activity at the University for Peace on this exact thing, and it really helped me put it together. And so what I would do, what we did is we put together a Venn diagram. And on one side, we put things that we're interested in and that we're passionate about. And on the other side, we did things that we're really good at and have a lot of knowledge about. And then in the middle, you had to figure out a way to combine those two. And so for me, like I'm very passionate about like support for immigrants, climate change legislation. Oh my goodness, reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus equality, and things that I'm good at. I mean, I don't know if this isn't something I'm necessarily good at, but I am an extremely online girly, so I understand the online space a lot. I'm very into like different pop culture things and how people are communicating online. And so, like, by bringing those two things together, I realized I could combine like myself being extremely online, knowing a bunch of creators in this space with things that I'm passionate about, and it could come together like that. So, yeah, I recommend that activity for anyone who's trying to figure out even like what their purpose is, because there is a way to combine those two, you know?
Yes, that's a great idea, a Venn diagram. Yeah, I also do think that you're really good at communicating with different types of people and helping people feel comfortable, like their work is valued and reaffirming, kind of like pumping people up in a way.
I think that might be a result of me being one of four children in a family. And also, I've moved around a lot my entire life, so I've had to like adapt to a bunch of different states, and I think there's so much different culture that exists within states. So, um, I feel like I can connect with a lot of people for different reasons, I guess. But also just taking a step back, like there is so much wrong with corporate culture. Like you were saying before, like being too robotic and just not feeling very like human centered. And so anything I can do to like uplift people's day and just like not be so serious. Because like, why do we need to be so serious? I don't understand. Like
Mhm.
anything I can do to make the work that we're doing more enjoyable for, whoever I'm working with, like you, as well as myself, like I'm going to do. So lots of emojis always in the emails.
Yes, love that. Oh, and where are you? You said you had four, or you're one of four. Which one are you? In
So
the,
yeah, I'm the third, but so I'm like middle child, but also there's an 8-year gap between me and my little brother. So I'm like youngest child slash middle child since I was the youngest child for like 8 years at first. So
and bonus question, why did you move around so much? Just
my dad's
curious.
job, yeah, he works. A lot of people think like my dad was in the military or something, but no, he just works for a rental car company. And the way that the company works is you kind of just have to move around in order to like move up within the company. So, but because of that, I've lived in a bunch of different swing states. So I'm originally from Massachusetts, but I lived in Florida. I swear Florida used to be a swing state. It's very red now, but it wasn't always like that. I lived in Wisconsin. I lived in Michigan. And after I graduated college in DC, I spent a year in Arizona as well. And I'm like so close to New Hampshire. So I feel like I've like almost hit all of the swing states. So yeah.
Um, yeah, we are actually just talking about potentially moving to Florida today
Oh my
because we were
gosh.
thinking like it's good to be in a state that's not maybe not California or LA, just if you're a creator because it maybe you do more valuable work in a swing state or a red state if you're doing kind of progressive issue work. And so anyway, we're thinking like where could we move that's warm and has by the ocean potentially that is still kind of a swing state or maybe a state that would be good for us to be in. And we thought Florida. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely nice areas of Florida. There's definitely areas of like crazy people in Florida, but I feel like there's crazies everywhere. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
especially since you live in Ohio. So, like, I'm sure you've had some experience with some, you know, crazies. But I feel like as long as you know how to protect yourself and stay true to yourself and avoid those people. Plus, I mean, sometimes having conversations with those people
Yeah.
can be valuable in order to help them see that, like, you probably have more similar values than they even realize. And so just figuring out like
Mhm.
where there might be like a disconnect and getting them to take the next step on supporting progressive issues.
Yeah, definitely. Like there was this neighbor that we had that was an older guy that definitely was a Republican, but he was super nice and he was really conservative on certain issues. But I think through just conversations we were able to find a lot of common ground. So as long as people aren't extreme, I'm happy to talk to any person.
Yeah,
As long as
exactly.
people aren't
As
violent.
long as they're not like denying people human rights, like I feel like as
Uh,
long as that is not an issue, there's always a way to find compromise and understanding. So,
yeah. Yeah, I hope we can find more of that. Well, thank you so much for everything you're doing. And is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Where can people find you also?
well, my personal is at Ellie Artone. Um, but if you're a creator that is interested in, collabing with some progressive organizations, I recommend you follow Social Currant on Instagram. It's current spelled with an A, so Currant, not ENT. And we'd love to
Mhm.
bring you into our community. We have monthly briefings where we talk through either like a progressive issue to help provide you with resources or do something to help you in your account growth. We have one coming up in April around like video editing for long form content. So yeah, I would love to share any resources that you all are looking for.
Mm. Yeah, it's a wonderful community. I really like to be part of it. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for having me. I feel so honored to be one of your podcast guests.
Yes, one at the ground level in the beginning.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you loved that as much as I did. Please like, follow, share this episode with a friend. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give it a rating or review. It really, really helps. All right. Love you dearly. Have a great day.